some pasta. It was the best pasta on the planet. And we just, what time? I got here maybe 8 a.m., 8:30, whatever it was. Started eating around maybe 11. Just wine and pasta, right? And then went on a 3-hour bike ride at 2 o'clock.
Mistakes were made.
Just insane. And it was great. Some of the best coffee I've ever had in my life. And some of the most beautiful people. You guys have just been fantastic. The 2 days I've been here is just so warm. You know, we do a lot of conventions. We were talking to some of you guys. Do a lot of these conventions, and you know, you go to some of them and it's just an assembly line, right? You're just kind of an assembly line of people, and you're just kind of mindlessly doing it. But then you have some that are so family and connective like this, and I love it. It's great. It's great. So, let's talk Arrowverse. You know, it's the last season of the original Arrowverse shows, with the Flash ending this year. Sad, isn't it? It's so sad.
Yeah.
Do you guys watch the Superman and Lois? You guys watch that show?
Yes.
Yeah. What do you think about that not being connected to the Arrowverse? Is there an opinion on that, or not really? No?
I like it.
You like it not being connected, right?
You don't have to watch everything all the time.
Yeah.
Bora.
What? But it's been a fun ride, man. 10 years. Damn, 10 years. And I don't know what they're gonna do. I mean, there's Gotham Knights is coming with Misha. And I just don't know what's gonna happen now if they're gonna. And where does it air here? How does it air here in Rome? How does the Arrowverse show? How do you watch Superman and Lois? Do you stream it? You stream it?
Illegally.
Illegal. Well, damn. Oh, okay. You're like David. This is Rome. Okay, so that's how you watch it.
It doesn't show, it doesn't air on any.
It doesn't air naturally.
No.
We do, but we have to wait so much time.
Gotcha.
We used to stream.
Yeah. So if you want to see it in real time,
Yes.
you got to see it in real time. You know what I mean? Yeah. Okay, I get it. Yeah. So I don't know. You know, I don't know how they're gonna. DC now has a new chairman, a couple of new guys over there, James Gunn and Peter Safran, and they're doing things a little differently, which I think is great. CW has new ownership. So CW is the big network that it comes on in the States. And new ownership there. They want to do things a little cheaper, which doesn't spell great things for the Superman and Lois's of the world, but we'll see. There's HBO Max and some other places I think they're talking about it going, if it doesn't stay on CW. So we'll see what happens. And, you know, so I'm hopeful for this stuff developing. You know, I never knew why it didn't, like I would have loved to have seen a Arrow on HBO Max or a movie like that. Like, I would have loved to have seen that. Maybe we will. So we'll see. What do you guys want to know? Now that I'll clearly tell you anything.
I have a question. Cheers.
Oh, cheers, yes, hi.
I'm currently the only one. I was just wondering what was the coolest stunt you had to do and the most dangerous one on Arrow.
The coolest stunt and the most dangerous one.
Yeah.
You know, it's funny. Me and Steven never got hurt by anything we did on the show. Go, I'm
That's
sorry.
good.
Steven, of all the stunts, and you know, jumping off of overpasses, bridges, going through walls. We never did that. But the fighting, we did a lot of that. And I think Steven hurt his back. There was a scene, I think it was season 3 or whatever. There was a training scene where, you know, CrossFit or these MMA training, there are big tires that you take a sledgehammer and you hit the tire. Hurt his back doing that. Of all the fights, never hurt his back. And he just, oh! And there you go. Me, never hurt anything. And at the time, my son's 12. I think it was season 2 or 3. I picked him up.
Darn kid.
That was it. That was it. And I hurt my back, and I couldn't do any stunts or any martial arts stuff.
He was too heavy.
He wasn't heavy at all. It was just, I didn't use my legs, right? I was just like, hey, kid, ah, shit, mother. So he, yeah, we never got hurt. We never did any of that. And, right? That's sexy.
Yeah.
And was there like a wheel or something that was supposed to be on it? What's this all about?
Spin it.
What's it about? Tell me what it is. What is this?
It's pretty self-explanatory.
It's a trap.
It's a trap. All right, so what is this? What I will do?
Yes.
This is bullshit. So it's either a surprise, I sing, I dance, I drink. You know, you talk about John Barrowman. Would he love this?
Yeah. Yes.
Oh my God, I can only imagine what Barrowman would do if this was
Go
here.
for it.
All right, should I go?
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. Aha! Awesome. So you guys thought I was gonna dance, didn't you? Diggle don't dance! What's in the surprise box?
Diggle
Who
don't
knows?
dance.
Did you just slide this up there? No. That's awesome.
Diggle
Let's
was
see what it is. Oh, let's see, I use my legs now. Learn my lesson. All right. Look at here. This thing in a plastic bag with eyes. Gonna open it. Good, like, hurry up, Energy. All right, here we go. We're opening. I look ridiculous. Why did you tell me I look?
Be happy you don't have the tail. Drink to the tail.
What in God's name? What in God's name? I gotta do it, don't I? I gotta go for it?
Yes.
Fuck it. You're in Rome.
Yeah.
You're in Rome. All right, let's see how this works out. I can't, you know, John Diggle has a reputation. Normally, this is not it. But for Rome,
Did the ears go up? Adorable.
huh?
Yeah.
Huh? Yeah! Oliver. Oliver. You don't want to do this, Oliver. I feel like that's all John Diggle ever did was say, like, no to Oliver Queen. She's like, Oliver, you're being an idiot. Don't. Felicity loves you. Can't you tell?
Welcome to Jib. If you squeeze the paw, the ear might go up. Squeeze
I gotta do what?
Oh, squeeze the paw.
Squeeze the pulp? If Mom can see me now, right? Mom, I've arrived. All those years of training in Stanislavski and Shakespeare, It all came down to this. Yeah, Mom. This is actually pretty cool. And it goes with my outfit. I think I'll do this. This is awesome. Fuck, I'm gonna take it. Did you guys, did you know this was coming? Did you know this was in there? No?
It was a surprise.
It's a surprise. That's why it's called surprise. It's all in the name. Yes!
I still wanted to know what the coolest stunt was.
Yes, that's right. God damn it.
Yep.
You know, I'm starting to understand your secret power now here in Rome. You get us nice and saucy,
Yeah.
and we do the dumbest. I'm gonna regret every second of this. Stunts.
Yeah.
The coolest stunts. Man, Arrow was, you know, I'm gonna be, I can't wait until the feature happens, and there will be eventually. There'll be a feature of Arrow, there'll be a feature of all this stuff at some point. I don't know this for sure, so if there's anybody with press that's gonna print this, I don't know this. But I'm sure at some point, all these things kind of get regurgitated. And, but I'm not quite sure how Arrow never won an award in stunts. It was an incredible show when it came to stunts. And we did so much practically, as opposed to, and there were great shows, Legends and Flash, Superman and Lois, huge vis effect budget, right? And the most visual effects were the actual arrows, right? Besides that, everything was stunts. Stunts. Coolest stunt I did was Diggle had to jump off a 40-foot overpass and then roll and come up and shoot. Pow, pow. I didn't do this stunt, my stunt guy did. And the way this works is you jump off an overpass, there's a ratchet that has you tied. You see it, there's a little chain there that they scribble out because it's all digital. And it's attached to a pulley, so you jump and it goes, so instead of coming down with all the G-force, you kind of come down slowly, fast but slowly. Anyway, Marshall Bingham, very good stunt guy in Vancouver. He does the stunts for a show called The Boys, very good stunt guy. And he was my stunt guy, stunt double. So he ran to the overpass, jumped as, you know, as he, and the way the stunt was going to work is he lands, rolls, and then it's a close-up, and it's me coming into the roadway, pow, pow, pow. So he was going to do the jump, land, and begin the roll, cut, was the plan. And again, this was really about applauding the stunt men and women of Arrow. Jumped off the overpass, you hear the pulley go click, he jumps, pow! The line breaks. He falls 40 feet, right? Hits the ground. It sounded like everything in his body broke, is what it sounded like, because we're watching this, and of course you hear the pow, and you see him coming down. He doesn't panic and flail, he makes sure he lands. It sounds like everything breaks, and he rolls and just lays there, right? Everybody rushes over. Oh my God. He's laying right there and gives a thumbs up. They call the ambulance over, he just stays there. He has a sprained ankle. Right? These guys. So you asked me a question about my best stunt. I have to defer to these stunt folks because they were just incredible on Arrow. We were setting people on fire. We were jumping off things. We were throwing people through walls. It was just an incredible time. But But being on top of a skyscraper at 3 in the morning in the rain, I could do without. That was the worst part of Aero. But it was, man, Aero was just a lot of fun. And no one could imagine, you know, Flash and Batwoman and Supergirl and all the spin-offs that would come out of Aero. And ultimately the other things, Titan and everything else that ultimately came out of there. So, you know, we're still living off of a lot of that. And it was a wonderful time.
It was a great universe.
Thank you for that. Thank you. It meant a lot. It meant a lot to a lot of people. Still does.
Yeah.
Still does. And I'm glad that the Arrowverse cherry has been broken with me being here. I'm the first person from the Arrowverse. And I just found that out today. So I'm very happy to be here. And I'm not going to tell any of them about this. Not that any of them would want to come after seeing the video of this. Like, look, if I have to do what David Ramsey did,
Just make sure you drink a lot of apple juice. You will forget all about it.
you better believe it. Apple juice, the magical elixir of Rome. What else you want to know about Arrowverse, Flash? I got secrets! I got secrets!
Hi. You look amazing, by the way.
Thank you. Can I keep this on?
Yes.
All right, it feels
Do
good.
whatever you want.
What's different between working on Arrow and working on Superman and Lois?
Well, as an actor or director or both?
Both.
Both, yeah. Well, Superman and Lois is the obvious evolution to the Arrowverse. It is a more mature show. It's slower in its maturity, in its writing. It really is a family show that has Superman in it, really. And it's the production design is probably the biggest difference. Arrow moved very fast, like The Flash and Supergirl and Legends. They all kind of lived within this Arrowverse that didn't always sit in moments and kind of had moments and then went to the next thing, had moments, went to the next thing. And Superman and Lois just kind of sits there. And you live in a kind of a family drama. So I would say that the pacing is really, I guess, what I'm talking about in terms of that. That's a big difference. Production design is shot on an anamorphic lens, which gives a fishbowl effect. And there's a lot of light and a lot of smoke. So if you watch Superman and Lois, there's a lot of light that comes through windows and flares. They use a lot of flares. So the production design is a lot different. And a lot of atmosphere. Atmosphere is the smoke that you will see in scenes. So the production design is a lot different. And but the lead actors, like Arrow, are assholes. I'm kidding. They're great. They're actually great. So I would say probably the biggest difference would be production design, writing, the pacing is a lot different. But I think Superman and Lois is a really, really good show. And this season, I hope they get a season 4, because season 3 is crazy. It's crazy what they plan on doing, what they're doing. They're in, I think, episode number 10 or 11, now 13. And
What can you share?
what can I share?
That's some more apple.
What can I share? I can share that let's see. You know, we had that meet and greet earlier.
We did.
I wish this was asked then, because in the meeting with the meet and greet, it's all secretive, see? There are no secret.
Stay between us.
There are no secret reporters out in the audience. There's no one really recording. So I could have told you guys all the secrets. I could have told you. You, however, I can't tell you shit. I can tell you that some of the big, scopy, really, some of the things that I think they were trying to achieve in Batman vs. Superman, I think some of the elements in there are done in a way in Superman and Lois this season that's very exciting. Some of the elements, not all of them. And wow, I get the close up on that one. This is how Diggle looks when he's lying. But I'm not. That's the thing. So it's so some of those elements I think are done very well in this season. Some of them, and that's probably the most I can tell you without giving a lot away. But it's a really, really good show, man. It's a really, really fine show. So I hope that even if it doesn't stay on CW, it finds a home someplace. Not like it matters to you thieves. I would do the same thing. I would do the same thing.
We get them earlier on HBO.
Get the what?
We get them earlier on HBO.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, so we'll see, and hopefully it gets to season 4 to continue what they do in season 3. It's going to need it.
Let's hope so.
Let's hope so.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Hey.
Hiya. So I've got a two-part question for you.
Yeah.
Who was your favourite person to work with on Arrow?
Mm-hmm.
And did any of you have to learn any actual martial arts?
John Barrowman. Steven was great. Emily was great. Rick, Echo, Juliana, Katie Cassidy is another one that was great. But John was just, has John been here?
No.
Yes.
I think you
Daniela? Right? I mean, he will turn up the whole show. You know, John, and I was saying this in my meeting in earlier, John leads with love. He leads with love. And it's a very different way, it's contagious. And it's infectious. And it's a wonderful way to live your life, and he does it that way. He's genuine about it. It's not in order to get something. And he's probably one of the most authentic people I've met. And calls it the way he sees it. And leading with love doesn't mean that he's a pushover. He will stand up and tell you what he feels and what he believes, and with all due respect, you're wrong, right? And I just appreciate that. And there were, you know, in our first season when he was there, where Arrow was finding his way, and it just became bigger than anyone could imagine. So holding on with all the press and all the crush of people had his own challenges, and he was one of the pillars that just kind of held it together during the firestorm that was Arrow at the beginning. So yeah, I would say John Barrowman, and he's just a joy to work with. I mean, even besides all the esoteric stuff I'm talking about right now, he's just a really, really fine human being. So yeah, as wonderful as the other actors and actresses were, I think John's my favorite. Yeah, and I'm serious about getting him here. Like, that's John Barrowman. Would be great, right? Wouldn't it be great? Have you guys seen him at any other conventions before? Yeah, right? I mean, it's like he should probably have his own convention, just like the John Barrowman Show.
The experience.
There's something there, the John Barrowman experience, right? Right? Something there. I know I'm going to get a text or something saying, "I love you, David." Yeah. What else you got? Hello, how are you?
Hello, welcome to Rome.
Thank you. Rome has been great.
Yeah. First of all, apologies because I've got some catching up to do.
Oh, no apologies.
Because it hasn't magically appeared on my computer yet.
You need to ask some of these people about how it can magically appear.
But I did notice that if you've been working on Arrow, that may mean you were working with Cat McNamara?
Yes.
Yeah, and I was wondering that you talk about what can we learn about Arrow.
Yeah.
Your experiences working with Cat, obviously.
Cat McNamara. In our last season, I directed an episode called Reset, and that was an episode where the Monitor put Oliver Queen and all of us in a day that kept repeating. It was a Groundhog Day episode. And that was my first time working with Kat. She had worked on the show before that, but she and I never really had scenes together. So that was my first time working with her. And she was probably the most professional, one of the most professional actors that I've ever worked with. And there was a scene she had, Stephen was waking up over and over again, and his character had to eventually, the lesson for him was to understand that he couldn't change his fate, that Oliver Queen had to die, right? And he ultimately realized that, and his daughter and his son came into the room, and Kate kind of had this moment with him and turned around and found something in the lines that her eyes just swelled up with tears, and we never knew in the text. What's great about writers write, directors direct, and they do this stuff. And actors find the things in the words that you wouldn't think about. And what separates actors from other actors are their choices. That's what makes some actors good and other actors great, are the choices. And Kate found some stuff in that scene with Stephen, and her eyes welled up with tears, and it was just like, everyone was just quiet, like, wow. And we never saw that in the lines before that. Like a lot of times you see things as a director, and you're like, hey, can you do this, because you see it already. Maybe the actor didn't see it, but I didn't see it, no one saw that. So Kate was just really, really a profound actor in many of the choices that she makes as an actor. And I'm really proud of her, of what she's doing now. She's just awesome, and an awesome spirit, just a really lovely person.
Thank you.
My pleasure, thank you.
I just wanted to say really quickly that you gave a very phenomenal performance in bringing John Diggle to the
That's so nice of you. Thank you for that.
So much for that.
I really appreciate that.
This is probably just, I don't know if this is something you ever considered or thought about before, but because would you have ever considered a power that Diggle could have had access to for even maybe an episode? Like, that he could have, like what you would like to have seen him have access to?
Oh, I see. Something I would have loved for Diggle to, is the last question, guys, so I'm taking it off so you can see John Diggle. Yeah, Diggle, there's a show called Justice U that's being developed for John Diggle, and we'll see if that continues to happen. And in that show, we want to explore some of the things you're talking about. And what happened to the Lantern Ring, for example, and all this other stuff that still exists in the John Diggle mythos. I would have loved to have seen just what happened. I think, look, John Diggle, I think, was probably one of the more normal people on the show. I mean, Felicity was probably the top 5 smartest people on the planet, persons on the planet. Oliver Queen with Bruce Wayne are probably the top 2 fighters on the planet. And John Diggle was just this guy who bettered himself, was a serviceman in the military, and found purpose in helping the community and ultimately with Oliver Queen. So I would have loved to have just seen what life was like for him post-Oliver, after Oliver's death, like who he became with no more purpose in the Oliver Queen mythos. Like, who is he now standing on his own 2 feet? And hopefully we'll get the chance to see that in Justice U.
I really hope so, definitely.
Guys, it's my time. Thank you. Thank you.